On one, serious allegations plague the National Art Gallery of Namibia leadership. Visually impaired people left out by government COVID-19 measures. Tourism Ambassador Lira shares her travel experience in Namibia.
The National Arts Gallery of Namibia is currently under investigation for alleged irregularities, maladministration, and mistreatment of employees that have been ongoing for years. The allegations range from unfair discrimination, tribalism, and unethical leadership, all which have been directed to the gallery's chief executive officer and legal officer, who are alleged to have used the company to attain self-gratification. The CEO is accused of having submitted names of bidders for an unannounced tender and collecting bid documents without following the Public Procurement Act requirements. It is alleged that the CEO corruptly decided to award the Strategic Plan and Structure Review tender of 200,000 Namibia dollars to Lavenham Investments instead of a company that was initially and fairly selected by the gallery's Procurement Committee and Bids Evaluation Committee. The company's legal advisor is alleged to have conspired with the CEO. Approached for comment on the matter, the gallery's CEO was unable to comment, noting that the issue is under investigation, pending disciplinary actions and police charges. Approached by Today on One, the Anti-Corruption Commission has confirmed that the case has been registered with them, noting that it is, however, still in the early stages of investigation.
Yes, it's true that the Anti-Corruption Commission has received allegations or a complaint in regard to allegations against the National Art Gallery of Namibia. This specific complaint came in last week, and the case was registered on Friday, the 9th of October 2020. However, as per the norm, as per the procedures, this case, though the case was registered, it has to go through processes. Actually, what we do when we receive a complaint of this nature or relating to the corruption activities or the corrupt practices, we carry out the preliminary inquiry, which means that it has to go through this process and it has to be evaluated just to determine if the specific allegations or this specific complaint fall under the Anti-Corruption Commission's mandate as stipulated in the Anti-Corruption Act of 2008, number 8 of 2003. So same apply to this case. It has to go through these processes, and I would say that it's actually been attended to, and once it's determined if it falls under our mandate, then definitely a full investigation will be given, and it will definitely be carried out.
Other claims are unfair disciplinary action against employees who have tried to report the matter. Additionally, the CEO is also alleged to have gotten away with many ills, such as damaging the company equipment and misusing the company vehicle.
I'm saying this as an aggrieved person regarding the National Arts Gallery of Namibia. This institution has serious problems, from maladministration to corruption, unfair discrimination, and so many other issues. However, if you report anything that relates to the leadership of the NAGN, you are the one who is actually going to be suspended and be charged, and even be targeted for dismissal. So as we speak, the majority of staff members are awaiting their hearings simply because they stood up to report corruption by the leaders, and I'm referring to the CEO in this regard, who is being covered up by the board chairperson. Because I was so surprised that in this country, in independent Namibia, when you report corruption, you are actually charged for that.
Police demanded for investigation to be made because of this issue of corruption at NAGN, where you have a CEO who is dictating everything and is in charge of the institution and is running it like a house. So as a result of these corrupt activities, NAGN employees are suspended, and as a result of this, we NAGN employees are looking for answers. Up to now, they have reported this to relevant authorities, but there is no clear answer or clear direction.
The company is plagued with alleged internal corrupt conducts. However, the issue has been taken up with the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture and the ACC, who have begun investigations into the matter.
top. That's where we all aiming to be the top guitar, top company, to be at all the top grooves, to feel those top sensations. We all wanna be at the top of our game, no? Earning the top dollar, men say, yeah, the top. With top score, because for us, there's no braai unless it's a top braai. With some top chicken drumsticks on the grill. And there's no pub unless it's top score, cooked at top speed, with the top taste, the top aroma, the top texture. You know what I mean. The top, that's where we all aiming. And that's where Top Score takes us. Top Score, a proud product of Namib Mills.
The Namibian Federation of the Visually Impaired, an organization aimed at lobbying for the rights of visually impaired people, says that its members feel that they are left out in the government's COVID-19 protocols aimed at curbing the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. As the world struggles to cope with the devastating impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Namibia Federation of the Visually Impaired, on the occasion of White Cane Safety Day, has called on policymakers and the government to plan and design inclusive infrastructure which considers the needs of persons with visual impairments.
There are some people that have put up markers in the front of their shops. And then the issue or the legislation, it's saying that you have to keep a distance, a 1 meter or 1.5 meters. So the visually impaired people might not see that marker, or the weight cane might not feel that marker. Therefore, it has to be in a way that the visually impaired can able to feel it with his or her weight cane.
Nkipandulwa also reminded the government it should not forget its obligation as enshrined in the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, more specifically Article 19, calling on countries to identify and eliminate obstacles and barriers that prevent persons with disabilities from equally accessing basic services such as transport and public facilities. He also added that Goal 11 of the Sustainable Development Goals stresses the importance of making cities and human settlements inclusive and safe for all. As the country prepares for the November regional councils and local authorities elections, Nkipandulwa also called on town councils and city planners to consider the above international blueprint to achieve a better and more sustainable future for all.
For instance, the zoo park and some other, sport stadium and some other public places. So town councils, they need to really look into that, and also include visually impaired people when they are coming up with those designs and so forth.
There are growing concerns that crucial messages about the COVID-19 disease disseminated by health authorities, the government and the media are not reaching persons with disabilities, especially for those countries with an absence of an access to information legislation. Some of the members who attended the commemoration of the White Cane Safety Day emphasized the importance of access to information for this vulnerable group in society.
I would like to thank the media for their efforts to be able to put our voices where they are needed, because we are empty, we are nothing without them. We cannot reach to Katima, but their coverage can reach Katima. We may not be able to reach SA, but their pages from Facebook and WhatsApp and Twitter will be able to reach SA for us. So you are the ones that makes our voices to be heard. You are the ones that takes our problems where they need to be taken, because us ourselves sometimes we don't even know where is the state house, but you people, you know. So we really thank you for all that, the efforts you do and for all the sacrifices you do in order for our voices to be heard.
I really appreciate each and every one of us present here, and especially the media for the coverage and for making it possible that information will reach out to our people. And I would love to say thank you again. Thank you very much. We really appreciate you.
The Namibia Federation of the Visually Impaired is the umbrella body that represents an estimated 20,000 people across Namibia who are totally and partially blind-sighted.
Imagine opening your Nedbank account anywhere, anytime by simply taking a selfie. Introducing Identity Today, a platform which enables you to open your Nedbank account, scan the Nedbank QR code with your smartphone camera, and immediately follow the instructions on the link that will open up in your web browser. Follow the simple steps to complete the account opening online form. Have your identity card or passport ready. Take a selfie and send it to us, and your new Nedbank account will be opened and confirmed in 3 minutes or less. Visit www.nedbank.com.na to shift your account to Nedbank today. Nedbank. See money differently.
South African singer Lyra has been in the land of the brave since the beginning of the COVID-19 state of emergency and has since explored what the country has to offer, including its wildlife. The Federation of Namibia Tourism Association has identified Lyra as the new travel ambassador for Namibia.
I felt like I was on an endless adventure. Every weekend I was in some place in Namibia. I was sleeping under the stars. I camped for the first time. I literally slept under the open sky. Nothing between me and the sky. I don't know many places in the world where people can say that. And so, long story short, I've really fallen in love with Namibia. I've seen all of it. I bet you I've seen more Namibia than most of you. Yeah. By choice. Something in me said, get out of the city, you need to be in nature. Then a friend recommended that I consider Namibia. Flights were starting to be grounded. Some people were flying, but I was not going to get into a flight during the height of a pandemic. I was afraid that I was going to catch the virus. So I decided to use the only border that was land border that was available, which was Ariamsvlei. I literally took the 18-hour drive to be here by choice because I needed to be in nature. Now, last year I spent my birthday here, and this year I also spent my birthday, which also happened in March. So I decided, let me be here. This is the most natural place I know on earth, and it gives me an opportunity as well to explore more of Namibia. So I packed a bag for 21 days, naturally. I knew for a fact that there was no way that my industry would come back to normal for at least the rest of 2020. That's what I expected, so there was nothing to lose for me coming to Namibia. So fast forward, 21 days, I was up, and I know there's nothing to, really that I had to rush back to South Africa for. And then Namibia started introducing specials all over the place. I was like, oh my God, how lucky could I get? So I decided to utilize every special available. I have been to Sossusvlei, I've been to Damaraland, I've been to Caprivi, I've traversed all of Etosha. I've been here. I looked at this, I was like, oh my God, I was here.
Lyra said that a friend recommended that she travel to Namibia, and she could not believe the beautiful locations that she discovered in the land of the brave.
I'm actually Namibia's tourism ambassador. I literally said that I am. And I think this coincided with the same day that Metumba was announced as the chairperson. So this thing kind of happened organically. I want to tell the world about Namibia. I've discovered a gem. People in my circles, people that are my followers, I don't think they know what Namibia has to offer. What blows my mind is that Namibia is here, right here on our doorstep. I first came to Namibia when I was 22 that was very long ago. But I came on my first tour as a musician, a young startup musician. And we went to Oshakati, Windhoek, and Walvis Bay. Now, Walvis Bay, the first time I came there, my eyes just swelled up and I started crying because I'd never seen the ocean next to the desert. I never even knew something like that was even possible. So my brain was like, hey, I don't know what to do with this information. I just swelled up in tears. So now, Swakopmund and Walvis Bay were like my ultimate destination. That's all I thought Namibia was. So I returned 3 times there. And only at this trip did I discover we have wildlife, we have desert, we have Caprivi, we've got river. I mean, it just blew my mind.
Lyra is planning on using her influence to encourage more South Africans to travel to Namibia.
I'm in a meeting.
Hi, everyone.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Okay, let's get right into it. Can we talk about the Q2 fiscal report? Ricardo, what do you have for us?
Thanks, Pewa. Well, it's clear we're feeling the economic headwinds. Profits have leveled and we're...
First place!
Sorry, guys, it's my dad.
Did you hear? I'm in first place. And I just broke the lap record.
Dad, I'm a bit busy here. Okay, where?
Oh, sorry.
2020 just got crazier in a good way. You can now enjoy fast, reliable, and uncapped internet at 25 megabits per second with SpeedLink Lite Plus at crazy prices starting from as little as 898 Namibian dollars. Telecom Namibia.
Sharing your world.
In other leading stories, at its annual general meeting held virtually, the Agricultural Bank announced that it has disbursed $246 million of loans in the financial year ended 31st of March 2020. Of this amount, more than $21 million was paid exclusively to female clients, while $52 million went to the youth. The bank also extended funding worth over $15 million to communal farmers without collateral, while over 8,000 farmers countrywide benefited from training and mentorship interventions during the same period. Speaking at the occasion, Agribank's Chief Executive Officer, Sakaria Ngikemwa, noted that the bank will continue to preserve the business through securing sustainable sources of affordable loan book funding. Ngikemwa further added that the Agricultural Bank is also sourcing grant funding to expand the reach and depth of training and mentorship services while sustaining a high-performance environment. Continuous enhancement of the brand reputation, balancing mandate sustainability and shareholder as well as client expectations will remain high on the agenda. Other highlights from the meeting include the collection of over $323 million in arrears. The AGM was attended by the Ministers of Finance and Public Enterprises, Agribank Board and Management, as well as senior officials of these two ministries. Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. The Education, Arts and Culture Ministry announced in a statement informing regional directors, inspectors, principals, teachers and learners on the last school and working dates for the academic year 2020. For pre-primary and grades 1 to 10, the last school day will be the 9th of December. Grades 11 to 12, last school day will be earlier or on the 18th of December. Teaching and non-teaching staff last working day will be the 18th of December. KB asked what primary school learners will be doing until the 9th of December. Penny has been waiting for this announcement for a while. Pala said schools were supposed to close in early November. Peniona thanked the minister for making this decision. Yambe said this is a good move as COVID-19 is still with us. Calls have been made to have the Minister of Higher Education, Training and Innovation removed from heading the ministry as a result of her political interference in the affairs of governance of various higher learning institutions. Erastus said that the Student Union of Namibia Secretary General is defending the PDM Member of Parliament who was accused of not paying back her NASFAF loan. Andrea said the minister is trying to ensure that IUM students get study loans. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on Today and One.
Win free airtime with One Africa TV. Share your comments on the channel. SMS your feedback, name and town to 555. One Africa TV. It just gets better.
A look at the weather forecast. The interior sunny and hot in the Zambezi and Kavango regions. Elsewhere partly cloudy and hot to very hot with a few thunder showers in the northwest and extreme north. The coast cloudy and cool to warm with a few showers in the north and central coast. The wind moderate to fresh northwesterly. Now a look at the minimum and maximum temperatures around the country and beyond.
Prevention is important. Help prevent the spread of illness and keep yourself and others well. Hand washing is one of the most effective ways of preventing the spread of germs. Wash your hands regularly with soap and hot water, scrubbing your hands thoroughly for at least 20 seconds. Hand sanitizers can be used but are not recommended as a substitute for hand washing. Use sanitizers in addition to hand washing or in a situation where soap and water are not available. To avoid spreading germs, limit sharing of personal items such as utensils, cups, and dishes. Your skin acts as a barrier to germs, but your eyes, nose, and mouth are more vulnerable. Wash your hands thoroughly before touching your face, eating, or drinking. Avoid physical contact with others, including handshakes, fist bumps, high fives, hugs, and kisses. Social distancing is deliberately increasing the physical space between people to avoid spreading germs. While regulations may vary by country or area, the best guideline for social distancing is to maintain a distance of 6 feet from others. Germs can travel through the air from one person to another. If you sneeze or cough, do so into a tissue or the inside of your elbow to prevent the spread of germs. Avoid contact with ill individuals and insist they isolate themselves until they have recovered and are symptom-free. Clean and sanitize frequently touched common surfaces and high-traffic areas in your home and workplace several times a day. Share these guidelines with others and help prevent the spread of illness and maintain a healthy environment. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure.
BBC World News, the biggest